I effing did it. I've been doing this. I haven't looked at any strategies. I've been doing this since the Gr1 challenge or menu book came out, and I have yet to place third or better. And I finally did it. I'm excited. This is the sloppiest replay that has ever been. Not even a clean race. That's what I'm saying. That's how I had to do it. So the strategy I'd taken was starting on the soft tire and fuel mix 1, which is maximum horsepower, and push as hard as possible. Also, traction control I set to 5 because I want to reduce all wheel spin to help prolong the life of the tires. There's the argy-bargy, just run them wide. Oh, almost got spun there. More of that. Just had to slow him down so I could get by him. And this is what I don't like about, I like Gran Turismo, but this part of Gran Turismo is what I don't like, is that sure, I don't have to win this race. I could drive clean and just never get the challenge. But in order to get the challenge, you're starting in last with a long rolling start where everyone's spaced out real far. And you're not, maybe not expected to get first, you're expected to at least get third to pass the challenge. But this is what it takes to pass the challenge in third, or in second place anyway. And it's a lot of dirty racing. And I think that this mentality that the game produces transfers online. And I went way wide there. So I could have gotten first if I hadn't run wide so many times in that corner, which I run wide several times in that corner. This is my maybe 5th attempt today, and I'm really sweating. I bolted on a medium range turbo on this car. This is the 2010? No, what is this? Gr1, I don't know what it is. Let's see. If I go like this. It's that car. It doesn't say what car it is. The hybrid one, or one of the hybrid ones, the newest hybrid one of Toyota. And this bus stop, like I said, I haven't watched any other strategies, but it's necessary to get that penalty in the bus stop because the track limits are unequal for the AI versus the player. Or at least, I don't know, it doesn't tell me if they got a penalty or not. And it's about a half-second penalty. It's exactly a half-second penalty for cutting the bus stop, which I think is within track limits. There we go, wide again. Within track limits, I think. My line anyway. But it's not within track limits for what the game is calling track limits. So like I said, if I had driven cleaner, I probably could have got first. Like if I didn't miss that corner twice, and maybe even a third time, I don't remember. And I also got spun out once, coming out of the pits. And it was just, there's no reaction time. I couldn't steer out of the way. I just got collided with as soon as I came out of the pits. And I used the 4-wheel drive to kind of, you'll be able to watch it in the video when we get to that lap, which I'm gonna turn on the race info. There's that penalty. Sometimes I take what seems like the same line, or very close to, and I don't get a penalty as well, which is strange. It's just such a precise line that I don't even know where it is to be able to take it accurately every time. And I chose this car specifically hoping it would have the best fuel economy. I don't know if that's the case. There's the spin, just coming out of the pits, just floored the throttle, and luckily the front end was on the grass and the rear end was on the pavement, and it self-corrected the car into the corner, so I didn't lose too much time. But definitely with all the mistakes I've seen and remember doing, first is possible with this car. I don't think you need to drive a detuned Tomahawk or something, which I think that's possible. It might still be possible. I don't know if that's any better because its fuel mileage, or was it fuel economy, is not very great, I don't think. Usually more horsepower means more fuel burn. And this has the hybrid, so it hopefully uses less fuel coming out of the corners. That's the only time it uses the battery. It'd be nice to be able to change the electronic deployment to get more aggressive exits, because I barely use the battery per lap. So this is the only prototype event I've attempted. I'm curious as to what the strategies are for the other events, the other two events. Oh, for the pit, I took the hard tire, as you can see on the bottom right, just so I could last the whole race without pitting again. So that's the strategy. Is some of the cars pit twice this race, and it's just maintaining the pace. So first, pulling ahead of the back from the back of the pack to the front of the pack in the first stint in 4 laps, completing 4 laps, and then preserving fuel on the hard tire for the rest of the race while pushing as much as possible to end up at close to 0 fuel at the end of the last lap, which I actually ended up with 1 extra lap of fuel, so I could have gone faster. More mistakes that could have led to a first position result, as well as running wide there. My first strategy for this event was to try this event. The first strategy was to try this event with the Red Bull competition, X20 something competition, and I think it's under 950 to start with, or no, I think it had to be detuned a little bit, and with only racing hard tires is what it was. And the problem with the car was really fast, and I could get up to the front of the pack, but the problem was the second stint. I couldn't pit a second time and place well, and I couldn't last the whole rest of the race while still maintaining a good position. It might still be doable with that car, maybe holding back a little bit on the first stint to make it at least 4 laps, and then holding back even more, I guess, I don't know, except on the straights. A lot of lift and coast into the corners might be possible. The problem was that it was it requires the racing hard tire instead of the racing soft tire. That was the problem as well, is that it's not fast enough to pass enough of the cars in the first stint with its performance point value. A lot of the times the contact is just done to slow the car down before the corner instead of running them off the track. Again, that's for placing well. If you don't care to complete the event in 3rd or better, you can race clean here, and you just don't finish the event or don't complete the event. But in order to get that 3rd or better, it's very difficult to do it without contact. And again, I'm repeating that whole Gran Turismo thing that's been in Gran Turismo since its inception, of the last to first challenge without any no qualification or practice events to start the race, to at least warm up to the event and everything. And I understand why, because it's more interesting to pass cars than it is to start in first and finish in first. But it just seems disingenuous as a racing title. And again, it kind of transfers that people learn these habits from racing single player, and then they carry that racing habit into online racing. See, that looks within track limits. Do I get a penalty here? Yes, I do. Just watching that video, I just kept it on the yellow curbs as much as the other cars do, and the other AI cars even use the dirt sometimes. And it's just a really strict penalty in that section. And that concludes the race. Surprisingly, 10 laps goes by really quickly when each lap is a minute and a half. Till the next one.